Okay, so I can't lie, I've been dealing with some pretty bad beat block recently. I've made some pretty good tracks recently, but I haven't really had that feeling that I usually get. That feeling that's almost visual. You know the feeling, when something comes in and your face starts scrunching up like you just had something really sour. Or the stank face, as everyone always says. So I took a few days off from producing and actually made a track that I really like. So I made this track right here and finally I got that feeling that I've been missing for a while. But this video is not a beat breakdown. I did something really interesting in the mixing stage of this track. Now I saw this unique idea in Instagram. When you load up Patcher on one of your instruments, if you don't know, Patcher combines different types of VSTs and plugins to get something completely new. So if you load up 3 different instances of Maximus, you can solo the low, mid, and high frequencies in any sample or instrument that you have. So here in the mid and high frequencies, I actually put Fruity Convolver and then put it to FL Studio. So none of the low end has any sort of reverb on it, it's only going to be the mid and the high frequencies. But like I said, this is not a beat breakdown, this beat is already on my SoundCloud, it's called Above if you guys want to go check that out. So this technique actually got me thinking. So I decided to go to FL Studio and just see what Patcher has to offer. And overall basically just mess around with samples and see how Patcher can really manipulate them. And I gotta say, I cannot believe it took me over a year to figure out what Patcher was. I never used it before a day in my life before yesterday. And honestly, I might be using this plugin in every single track that I make, especially when I'm stuck with beat block. So I pulled up the sample and put it into a mixer channel. Now there's a few different instruments inside of this sample alone. Now no, you can't pull out each individual instrument from a sample, but what you can do is go over here and get Patcher. You're going to add 3 instances of Maximus. And the top one you're going to hit high, solo. The middle one you're going to hit the mid, solo, low, solo. And then make sure that they're all being connected. Now because the high is the only one connected to FL Studio, it's the only sound that's going to be coming out. And the more bands that I connect, the more frequencies we're going to be able to hear. Okay, so this sample has a lot in the high end, mid, and low. It's a very full sounding sample. So what I'm gonna do is disconnect everything here, and now we have all the freedom that we want to put any sort of plugins on the frequencies that we have selected. Let's say on the high end I want to add some reverb. I can go over here, hit Fruity Convolver, drag it on over here, connect it, and then connect that one to FL Studio. And now only the high end has the reverb. But we can actually go a step further too if we disconnect the Fruity Convolver and add Fruity Delay too. Put down a ping pong. Set the time to around 2 steps. Now for the mid frequencies, we can go and add something a little bit more creative, like gross beat. Come to think of it, I'm not going to do that and put it down to the low end instead. And then I'm also going to connect the mid frequencies to the Fruity Convolver. So we went from our sample like this, to it now sounding like this. And if it doesn't seem like it's good enough for you, you can also go over here and add something a little bit more creative like Portal. Now because it's not native to FL Studio, it's just going to have this little puzzle piece looking symbol. And we'll just go and connect it to the mid frequencies right here. And you can do this with so many other things as well in FL Studio. If you want to add reverb to your 808, you can do that without it hitting the lower frequencies. And now from here you can actually separate the sample itself by the frequencies by getting rid of everything that you don't want. So here I have only the low frequencies being played, and with this one being selected I'm going to hit Ctrl-Alt-C. And now we have just the low frequencies. And then do that to all the other frequencies as well. And now I've completely separated the melody into 3 different channels. And this right here with all the effects should sound exactly the same as this right here. But that's not the extent of what Patcher has to offer. I loaded up another sample right here and put it into a mixer channel. And once again, we'll go ahead and get Patcher. Now, everything that we've discussed up until this point was already really cool. And I thought that was the end of it, but then I actually went over here and did not think that this would have any sort of presets, but it actually has a lot. Let's go over to this 1K delay. I'll go ahead and set it to the 1/2 bar. But then you could also combine the timings. I'll go and set it to 1/3 as well. You could even put an auto panner on it. There are so many other presets to pick from, like reverb, a phaser, soft clipper, more delay over here, a whole bunch of stuff that you can use for your tracks. I still cannot believe it took me over a year to find this plugin, even though it's been inside of my DAW the entire time. So Patra is awesome, that's all that I'm really trying to say.